Middle. Skrilla basically getting, or barely getting there, I should say. Not basically, barely. Sharketeer there. Sadaki once again. So Ocean, we literally saw Sadaki do that same exact play. Top left corner. Now doing that on the top right corner. Getting nothing both times.
Looking really aggressive early game. I would like to see more of that for the rest of the game. Game settling down a little bit now in the midfield. Yeah, nothing much has really happened. It's going to be a chill walk in the park. Both teams just kind of feeling each other out for a little bit.
I just realized all the Hawaii members have S names. Sharketeer, Somewhat, and Sadaki. Talk about true team unity, right?
That from Hawaii, I would have thought like all H names, you know, like gotta be with your school as well.
Maybe. I guess it would be maybe hard to extend. Who knows? Somewhat. Popping this one on over to the right. Dribbling it now down, but again, yeah, the defense here for Bowling Green just doing a fantastic job of coming through defensively and taking these ones away when the time is right.
Touching somewhat.
Bowling Green team color are brown and orange. At some point, I realized I just had to read that one out loud and not really like put my own thoughts into it at all, because the multiple colors and consonants within the university's name was really throwing me off, and I realize that now. This is the University of Hawaii. Sadaki coming through after kind of driving through the remains of her teammate, almost escorting that one all the way in. Somewhat kind of having the Sadaki sickness right there, just to the outside, just a little bit, not quite able to get it right in there, and like corner play and angles just really single digit differences. We'd be looking at a different game right now. As it is, just over 100 seconds left, still 0-0 here, Ocean.
Somewhat here. I feel like University of Hawaii have had a lot more the ball, a couple more chances, like their record would suggest, but that's not good. A little bit of a defensive error there, mutation. Really good goal there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the L is supposed to be an I there, because otherwise that's Utatlon, and I'm not willing to pronounce that consistently. I'm just kidding, of course. 95 seconds left in this one. A bare advantage right now for the Bowling Green State University. The right, the orange. Kringlers and the rest definitely know this one, but this is not necessarily a time to come off of offensive yet, I'd say. Especially if they get another one to go, then there's even no volleyball situation at the end in which University of Hawaii could come back at.
Their defense, though, but I really think Bowling Green are defending a lot better than they did last week. Although I feel like Hawaii have been a little bit passive compared to William Mary.
Open net situation. Kringlers is going to take advantage of that one all day long. 104 kilometers per hour as well there at the end. Love to see it. Just outside. 60 seconds left here, Ocean. I'm not 100% sure. There's definitely enough time. for the likes of Hawaii. But just simply getting there and getting it done is a different story. Gotta walk the walk after you talk the talk. I don't know.
I mean, they've been involved in the game. It's been close, but they haven't looked threatening to me. I feel like, they've just kind of had some shots, had the ball, not really done much with it.
They're just kind of playing.
Yeah.
Not dumping a lot of efforts and time into any one thing, whether that's offense, whether that's defense, whether that's demos or takeaways, passes. Otherwise, nothing is really being showing up for Hawaii right now. I can definitely agree with that. $15 seconds left here, Ocean. 2-0. Advantage Bowling Green. This game number 1. It is just a first game in a best of 5, but you're looking at a Hawaii team that has to score literally right now and then run it back in the kind of pseudo volleyball overtime situation. That's just to tie it. That ain't gonna happen. Bowling Green forces a goose egg in game 1 in 2-0 fashion.
To Bowling Green there. I really was.
Wow, look at these shots too.
They were pretty poor last week, Bowling Green, especially defensively. I think they really struggled because William Mary, as I said earlier, really, really aggressive team. They chase everything.
Yes.
And Hawaii, very different. They had a lot of the ball, had a lot of shots, but weren't really that aggressive, didn't really do much with it. If Hawaii turn up the pace, I will be interested to see how that works out for Bowling Green. But Bowling Green, 2 goals, 4 shots. Thought they played pretty well that game.
Yeah, I mean, 2 goals, 4 shots, fantastic shot completion ratio. Where my attention turns to was I think the 11 shots total that this Hawaii team had, none of which went in. Plenty of saves both sides as well. So really that just tells me the defensive efforts here have shown up, especially given that one of these 2 for Bowling Green in game numero uno, that's number 1, was just more of a kind of a breakaway, almost mid-map situation that can kind of happen at any given time. It's not necessarily a reason to always keep a player back in those situations for that, especially if you're down and you have to make a play. So, moving on to game number 2, the burn away chance, right? Like the giveaway, something they can have to kind of play with chance for University of Hawaii is done and dusted. This is game 2. This is not match point yet. You lose this, it's gonna be a tough mountain to climb. 3 games in a row for a reverse sweep.
In this, second game for University of Hawaii, though. But, I mean, they have a lot of the ball again, but I just don't really feel like they're going to score. They had 11 shots last game, as you're pointing out, but I didn't really think there was a moment there where I thought they were probably going to score and put Bowling Green on the back foot. Would like to see a little bit more pressure.
Perhaps, again, maybe the focus of attention there, especially if these are just useless shots, if they're just shots that the game technically counts. I can agree with you there, Ocean. It's not something that's going to put on actual pressure, especially if it's one-on-one defense and they're just going to block it away every single time. At that point, you're just playing for points, literally, and they get just as many depending on the situation. Defensive-wise, you get for a shot attempt on that just gets blocked away on the instant. 90 seconds into this one, though, no advantage either squad.
Similar to what we saw in game 1, 90 seconds in, nothing really has happened. Both teams kind of feeling each other out. Both teams look a little bit nervous as well. Which is understandable, right? This is a really important game for both of these teams in the season. This is a really important part of the season as well. But Bowling Green have got to be happy with that. This is how game 1 went. It might go a similar way to game 1. Of course, they ended up with that 2-0 win in game 1.
Not going to happen. Sharketeer striking first. They're going to bite out of this one. 2 minutes. And that's going to be 103 kilometers an hour as well. One of our fastest, at least for my time on stream so far. Bowling Green State University, not going to say they fumbled a chance, but, they just put this team to 0. That was a full 5 minutes. Plenty of shot attempts. Nothing goes in. Now that situation is gone, all the momentum, I'm going to say, is the way Hawaii right now.
In there from someone. She got a really good bump on Kringler, who was the last player back. I feel like more of that, more bumps, and potentially Bowling Green's defense that has been so good this game, could be slightly weakened.
We'll see how that one goes. Hitting halftime now. On the receiving end is Kringler's here. Somewhat comes up for it. Angles it forward. If she shot it left side, it just been blocked away. So this is keeping possession right now. So really best kind of case scenario right there. What a shot! Kringler's barely gets there. That is honestly kind of a right time, right place situation. We're still going to give credit to Kringler's all day long on this one.
Good shot and a good save. A really important chance for Hawaii. Really important save for Bowling Green. They're still in. There's 2 minutes left. I mean, anything could really happen in these last 2 minutes.
It's a second touch right there. A mutation coming up on this, meeting them there. Can't really get a whole lot done. The entirety of this team, as I say that, passes into points. Mutation or mutatlon, which again just seems like such a mouthful that can't be what they mean. It's going to be tying this one up for Bowling Green. About 110 seconds left in this.
Oh, really good goal.
Okay,
mutation. Really good pass of Deskrella. And then it came, Kringler's to Deskrella to mutation. All 3 players involved in that play, and we're tied up here in game 2. Suddenly, I got a feeling that Bowling Green are comfortable in this match.
There you go. After that happens, yeah, I really was just about stopping any kind of momentum that Hawaii has. Now these are some really slower offensive and defensive plays, and everybody kind of playing for the boost right now. That was absolutely a perfect opportunity coming in here for Hawaii right there. That 1-2 just did not land.
Good touch. It's going to be awkward to deal with. Good defensive touch there from Hawaii, and another touch from Somewhat. Going to be awkward to deal with, but I think Bowling Green will get this clean.
Up, left side, Sharketeer rolls this one up, somewhat gets there, but just kind of loses possession of it as this one drops on down. Might have been a lack of boost situation, not really 100% sure. This is a fast one indeed. Skrilla now taking this one away across the middle. Nicely done, slicing this one over. Members of Hawaii trying to collapse on that. That's decently on point. Sadaki's hand is forced. Blocks this one-on-one away, and now picks up Big Boost, takes it off. Now running down the middle, Skrilla meets them there. Not a whole lot to be done at that point until Sharketeer gets involved.
What? Good cross in. This could be the chance Hawaii needed. Fortunately, it comes to nothing.
Back to the middle, and that is a fantastic job from Mutation. A lot of Bowling Green State University's defense so far has been marked by these kind of really just weak defensive rebounds, right? Like they can cover it up, and after that, like you really want to send it flying like Mutation just did. Just like that, we get the first stage of overtime, now the formal stage of overtime. Let's get it going. Bowling Green, a score away from getting this one going to game number 2 and starting an actual run in this one, putting Hawaii on series point. Hawaii a score away from tying this one up and guaranteeing some extra Rocket League.
Yeah, I feel like there is a lot of pressure on this one. I feel like Hawaii, they're kind of favorites going into this game, and they really need a goal. They really need to tie this up, and they have.
Here you go. 23 seconds into this one, we get the overtime situation, but not a whole lot of it, which I'm okay with. 23 seconds, plenty of time. 104 kilometers per hour from there on the end. Sharketeer credited with the assist. 2-1 is your scoreline for game number 2. Talking a little bit more about this one, Ocean, give me an idea of how you think these teams have changed play from games 1 and 2.
Been a change, to be honest. I feel like both teams kind of played the same. I feel like that actually favours Bowling Green. I know, Hawaii have had a lot of the ball. You can see they've had a lot of shots. They had 7 shots that game. I mean, Bowling Green also had 6, to be fair. But I feel like Hawaii, they've had more of the ball, but again, not really doing anything with it. Again, I would just like to see a bit of a change of gears from Hawaii. A little bit of a higher tempo is what Bowling Green have typically struggled against in the past. I think Bowling Green are comfortable right now. But series is tied. Maybe Hawaii like to play a slower game as well. And maybe we'll just see more of this for the rest of the series.
I mean, we saw plenty of slower gameplay there towards the end. I mean, overtime was a different situation, right? The actual end, but going through here, I'm not sure how much slower you could pull it down by. Perhaps that was part of your point, though. Sharketeer bringing this one down to the bottom. Pop on out. Triple up defense. Lay it to Kringlers, picking this one up pretty late. Now Skrilla is the first one to actually take this one out from Bowling Green for a while. Hawaii with a nice slice. Somewhat doesn't even have to come into the assist of her teammate. Nicely done. Bounce off the side. Hawaii found 2 the game last time. 1 in overtime, 1 in regular time. This one coming in 17 seconds. Hands down the fastest goal of this series so far.
Improvement though, right? We haven't really seen Sharketeer or anyone. I was going to compliment them, but I'm not exactly sure what's happened on that kickoff.
That was just a perfect pinch right there, and then Kringlers almost gets a second on it, and then the defender bit in. That wasn't Somewhat, that was somebody else. Couldn't see who it was. And Mutation just read this perfectly, seeing how it was coming off of this wall. Yeah, that's about as good as it gets when you talk about kickoff performances, man.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I mean, I was going to talk about, that was so much more aggressive at the start of Game 3, right? Sharketeer in the midfield. We haven't seen them go that aggressive in the midfield this series. Big adjustment. Unfortunately, a little unlucky off the kickoff. It's a good kickoff from Bowling Green, and it's now 1-1, tied up in Game 3.
Plays, Skrilla popping this one over, Somewhat able to get the first hit off of this. Now takes it super aerially. That is buying her teammates a lot of time to get under this, though. And Sharketeer now picks it up. I see what they're doing. Run all out to the outside, and even with all that, passes and more, a third player, Sadaki, failing to cut this one across the midfield, now leads to Hawaii being on defense, at least for the time being.
Good shot. Ooh, I thought that was going to go in. I thought it was going to creep in at the near post.
I thought Defender was there.
Both these teams look a little nervous to me. I feel like that's because a lot of teams, around their similar record have been playing today as well. Both teams know that they kind of need to win this game to push themselves further up the standings. And I feel like that's why we're seeing some slower gameplay.
Yeah, and even this was just kind of more the result of an open net situation, right? Someone comes over, Skrilla misses it, and then Sharketeer has literally just their choice of prey right here, right? Defender's trying to play ball and then realizes that after the true whiff or the fake, however you want to call it, after that doesn't happen and the ball is not coming from where he thought it was, there's nothing else for Mutation to do just to put this one easy sliding through that net. Little demo action. Now, that's not something we've seen very much of so far.
It, especially from Hawaii, because as I said, I'm going to keep mentioning it. We saw Bowling Green struggle with demos and aggression last week. And that demo from Hawaii, as well as some more aggressive positioning, nets them a goal.
Yeah, and that's kind of a weaker defensive rebound yet again, right? There's two players like low and mid. Nobody's rotating around. Nobody's going for a pass play in the back. Nothing like this. And maybe too many players there. Who knows? As it is, Sadaki and the rest of the University of Hawaii have gotten the lion's share of attempts, especially these high-flying acrobatic feats, onto the Bowling Green State University's goal in the past 2-3 minutes. Then has gone the other way. That's another fantastic pass. Sadaki fields this perfectly.
Wow, this is a good cross. Good pass from somewhat. Really good from her. Sadaki, good finish. I think Sadaki is kind of growing into this game. We saw in probably the first 20 seconds of this entire series, Sadaki had a couple really good chances. They didn't quite go in. Sadaki's starting to score more and more of those.
Ooh, Skrilla showing up defensively when the time is right. Now another one, Mutation, rolling this one down his way somewhat, slicing this one on over. Is that setting it up? Oh my god, what a fantastic job reading that. Like, they literally realized exactly what she was doing and just ate this all up in the middle and just literally flooded all three members right there, because this was such an obvious, like, kind of self-pass play. If they hadn't broken that one up, that'd have been a goal all day long. And 5-1 is just impressive.
I just want to point out, I'm pretty sure around this stage of both the other games we've had in this series, we were either 1-0 or 0-0. It's now 4-1, so I think that kind of shows how much University of Hawaii have upped the tempo. It hasn't been too much, it's still been relatively slow paced, but it's been at least up a gear, and Bowling Green have struggled to deal with it.
Well, I got a stat for you then here, Ocean. At 5 scores right now and more than 100 seconds left, this is the same amount of scores that have happened in the first 2 games between University of Hawaii and Bowling Green State University. If that tells you anything about this one, hitting past 100 seconds now. Sadaki trying for it, and Kringlers earns it all day long. Fantastic. Let's just watch this one again.
This is awesome from Kringlers. Wow.
Nope. Nope, right in the face. And of course, the entirety of University of Hawaii are like assuming the offensive position right there. Like, Sadaki's the last person bad. They're looking at this one as just an easy peasy takeaway across the middle. And that was just escorting the dog and then sending it home.
I mean, that's a really important and a really strong play from Kringlers. It's awesome, right? And 4-1 looks pretty bad with a minute and a half left, 90 seconds. 4-2, that's suddenly winnable.
And the whole point of it, right? Like, if it's one score, then you can take it to literal 0-0 and then just play volleyball and eventually and slowly move this ball down the way, right? If it's 2, then you're looking at scoring. As long as you score with 1 second left, then you get a volleyball situation, right? 3 is just absolutely oppressive, and that's just math at that point.
Okay, Chan. Lively in this game.
Thought that was going to be it right there. Nothing doing so far. Bowling Green State University may have been playing more passively earlier. That time is over and done with. University matching it with an intensity right now, though, I gotta say. Somewhat on the rebound. Went across this middle area and kind of getting ahead of herself, and now Kringlers passing his way on in. Pop play to the right side. Nobody really possessing this one right now. 50-51 by Sadaki. Now taking this off the right side. Bounce play in, and Kringler is just honestly the master of picking up on these rebounds. He's always there, Ocean.
Shit in this game 3, but doesn't look like it's going to be enough. I think Hawaii made some good adaptations here in game 3. Now 2-1 up in this series, and now it's up to Bowling Green. What are they going to do?
Yeah, that's going to be 4-2, even if it ends 4-3. It's still going to be W the way of Hawaii. No false hope here, guys.
They're keeping it up well, though.
There you go. Yeah, I would have liked to see that kind of control in regular time. Score difference of 2, I guess that's matching the first game, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, what I want to really highlight now is for the first time in this series, I kind of feel like here now. I mean, they've been in control of each individual game. They've had a lot more of the ball, but they're not in control of the series and what's kind of going on. And now, Bowling Green are forced to adapt. What are they going to do? Are they going to try and mix up their clearances a bit? They're making a lot of saves. But as you said, they can't really get out of their own half. They could potentially try and get the ball to the sides a bit more. They could potentially be better at booming the ball upfield. I feel like Bowling Green, the ball's in their court right now.
I addressed it earlier. I'll address it again, man. It's about these defensive performances. Part of the reason that Bowling Green was able to come back from that 4-1 deficit, like and take these, was because Kringlers was playing these defensive roles, was playing the rebounds constantly. Was able to pick this ball up after players go forth and make their shot attempts and then miss. It's gonna happen more times than not. And Kringlers, never mind. No need to pick up anything anywhere else. Some fantastic stuff. Now, it was 7 seconds earlier, it's 6 seconds now. That's the fastest goal we've seen on stream for the Tugboat.
Quite impressive, this series. You know, ever really, or whenever, sorry, Bowling Green kind of needs something, it always seems to be Kringlers popping up with it at the moment. That's a really important thing to have.
Yep. Picking it up, man. He's always literally just always picking it up. He is literally always there. Like whether it's a pass afterwards, whether it's a run of his own, whether it's kind of some close one-on-one play. Regardless, he's just simply there when the ball comes down, especially if it's an offensive performance gone wrong.
So an awkward shot to deal with. Mutation does well, but Hawaii will get another shot off him. Well saved by Skrilla.
It's a hit up, and
Kringlers
somewhat cannot get there in time. Kringlers racks in another one. That's gonna be just him scoring. Yeah, that's just him scoring so far in this game. A different one indeed.
No situation we haven't really seen in this series. We haven't really seen Hawaii have to go and chase a game. We haven't really seen a team actually have to chase a game until game 3 in the series. Now we're in game 4. Hawaii down by 2 goals, and they have to score 2 in 4 minutes. It's definitely doable, but you know, they've never really had to commit players forward. They never really had to play extremely aggressive to get these goals, and they've never really been in a situation when they're behind against Bowling Green.
See how that pans out here towards the end. So that is still, you know, a little bit away. 3 minutes, 40 seconds or so. Trying to escort this one in. Mutation with an easy stop right there. Kringlers now offensive powerhouse he has been somewhat. Goal line stop, fantastic stuff. Not a third, at least not yet, for the Bowling Green State University.
Save from someone. It was really awkward to deal with as well because it was sort of a semi-fake there from Kringlers as well, which made it really awkward, and someone did really well in that scenario.
Nice flip reset. The hit down bottom, but I mean, you can be as fancy as you want. These higher levels, Bowling Green State University was simply, you know, doubled up on defense on the other side. You can get past one, make a clip, but it's going to take a little bit more to go forth and take a goal, especially at these points, especially because these teams have been playing against each other for, you know, three and a half games now, right? A lot of offensive performances have already been either exposed or tricks used. One there right now, University of Hawaii. Speaking of tricks, there's one from out the sleeve.
Sharketeer, really good pass from Sharketeer. Gets there, I believe it was just before mutation. Drops it down. Good finish from Sadaki. Sadaki's been popping up in those areas a lot. Would like to see a couple more goals rewarded for getting in those positions and getting some shots off. I feel like they could have a slightly higher return.
Oh, wall ball right here. Slamming that one against. Going to be really happy that you're Bowling Green. That one was not on target. A tied situation at halftime is not what you wanted to do after being up 2-0 and a couple minutes burned off of this clock. Skrilla getting this one up. Kringlers trying to set themselves up, but again, even the butt action not going to matter. There's mutations. Their second shot attempt. Some fantastic stuff, and that's just past halftime. Bowling Green State University back up to 2-0. or excuse me, back up to a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, a good goal. And Kringler's again playing a big part in that goal. It just seems whenever the game seems to be drifting away from Bowling Green, even if they're in the lead, whatever situation they're in, it just seems the Kringler pops up, you know, and it's a good pass. Mutation does well to finish it, but I really like the assist from Kringler's.
Mutation. Another pickup right there. Kringler's last player back. Nice job, and that's going to be a pass. Mutation misses it. Kringlers can't quite get there in the nick of time, and now this is a huge Hawaii opportunity. One player up, Sharketeer almost there. Trying to play for defensive player is not going to matter. Skrilla getting an epic save to throw on top of that one.
Docky tries to get it out, and it seems Hawaii really struggling, and you know they were really good in game 3, and suddenly game 4 something seems to be amiss. We're seeing a little bit more aggression from Bowling Green, something we don't really see from them traditionally. We've seen how good they are defensively, but it seems to be throwing Hawaii off a little bit.
Yeah, especially kind of like not uncoordinated, not by any means, but definitely chaotic play, especially in this midfield right now. 75 seconds. Pass on the outside. Sharketeer keeping up the offensive pressure right now. Back on out to the outside. Sadaki there. Rotations coming in for the Hawaii members right now. Boost and more. Attempted pass. Mutation is there as well. And Kringlers makes Sharketeers pay for it on the rebound. Skrilla out. Excuse me. Somewhat still trying to keep this offensive play alive. Sharketeer ready for the pass, and Sadaki completely whiffs, unfortunately.
What was Sadaki almost got there dropping from the roof as well. Sharketeer have a chance. 40 seconds, 2 goals, it's doable, but Hawaii haven't really been taking their chances.
Herculean effort, that's what's going to be required. Sadaki just a little bit off right here. Skrilla is able to pick this one up. A lot of boost burn to get there right now. That's a nice pinch. That's a great pinch for Hawaii. 20 seconds or so is definitely doable. Sharketeer's got to come up and field this one well. Sadaki keeping it up. Skrilla on the outside. And yeah, and this is just ping pong play at this point. Bowling Green knows exactly what to do, and they have done it. They have burned off this clock, and now there's no real opportunity. After pouring everything in offense, then this game might as well just end at 3-1, because that's exactly what that's more of what we'd see from Bowling Green, right? Is just burning time, pouring and staying out the hourglass.
I think it's a slightly fitting end that Kringlers gets the hat trick. Has been really impressive in this game 4. We're going to go to game 5. Both these teams slowly adapting to each other. Too many major adaptations over the course of the series. Just kind of teams getting a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more punchy. I wonder if that's going to accelerate in game 5. If it's not going to be the contest we've seen so far. If both teams are just going to go balls to the walls right at it.
I would be surprised if this doesn't start a little bit slower, and then if there's no goals on either side to then like pick up pace from there, you know. I don't know. Only way to find out is to get there, though, Ocean. We are in game number 5 between the University of Hawaii at 6-3 overall record coming into week 10 here for the EGF, the Electronic Gaming Federation, taking on Bowling Green State University, coming in from Ohio at 4-5. Coming in again into week number 10, their 9 games accumulated thus far. Bowling Green fighting to go dead even, 5-5 on the win-loss record right there. University of Hawaii trying to continue on this run, go 7-3 instead of 6-3, and definitely not drop, go closer to that even 500.
I think game 5 is a lot riding on it, because both of these teams have the potential, dependent on other results around them. If I've done my math correctly, both of these teams could jump up 3 spots if they win this game 5.
Oh, okay. Based on record and then games 1 and stuff. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get confirmation on that later, guys. But an interesting stat. Indeed, Sadaki didn't get there, and it's me very, very glad that he didn't need to. Right. That was a prime opportunity for the first goal of this game 5. Now tiebreaker.
From Kringlers. I actually didn't see Sharketeer there. I thought that was an open net.
Back onto it. Mutation. Popping this one out. Kringler's doing the same kind of thing, but a weird pass for nobody that was there. 4 minutes left. Just like that. Hawaii getting the offensive role now. Skrilla not turning and burning on this one, at least trying to. Doesn't really get it until Kringlers comes up. Gives the assistance to Mutation. Now somewhat should be able to receive this on the other side. No. Hit back down. That's dangerous. Skrilla can't quite get to him. No members of Bowling Green State University there.
I feel like Green have kind of started better. They started stronger. They kind of look like they're more up for this. They kind of want to take this game. Just by the first minute and a half, first 90 seconds, where it was more the same from Hawaii. Very passive, but Stocky trying to prove me wrong. That doesn't quite get the touch.
3 minutes, 17 seconds up top. Sharketeer continuing this pressure on. Members of Bowling Green State University have not let off their defense for any moment in time. And again, yeah, Sadaki and Sharketeer on the other side now holding back. Both teams playing super defensively right now. Nobody wants to give up that true neutral situation.
This really feels like both game one and two, where both teams just really struggling to get that piece of quality that'll get them a goal. This is awkward. Oh, is that no goal?
Bounces and more against back walls. Kringler off of a weird pinch with an opponent right there gets it over here. Mutation kind of bounces us off the hood of somewhat, and that's going to be the first goal. Almost halftime into this, Ocean. This is not a situation we've really seen, at least not 2.5 minutes, right? Most of these first goals have happened much, much sooner.
Yeah, this is interesting now, because that's a really heartbreaking goal to concede, especially in an overtime situation in Game 5. You have to wonder about the mental game now. As Mutation goes up for that, both players missing. Ooh. Both teams look a little nervous here in Game 5. And who blame them?
Who can blame him? Who can blame him? Almost a brand new split. Oh, that's a huge hit. Yeah, Sharketeer able to cover this one up. And a huge bite up the front. Gotta get on the other side of it. Kringlers is there. Kringlers always, like I said, Kringlers always seemingly able to get in front of this ball when offensive, defensive opportunities go awry.
Really important moment there. There was a really awkward double commit in the attacking half for Hawaii. They had a really good chance there. They double committed, both missed the ball. They look shaky right now, and that's not good signs for them.
Ooh, that's on point. Sadaki almost is able to escort that one all the way in. Now hit down to the bottom, somewhat rotating around. Sadaki in the middle right now. Popping now down. Oh my god, somewhat. And I think that was Sharketeer in the back. Both miss it. Yeah, Sadaki bites on the front. Sharketeer's trying to move back, and somewhat just barely mistimes as she's come flying in right there. 90 seconds left, and Bowling Green might have just got the last goal of this game, Ocean.
Nice. I mean, Bowling Green could just defend for the rest of the game if they really wanted to. They've been really solid defensively, not just this series, but the entire season. That's probably one of their biggest strengths. And like 70 seconds or so left. This is going to be a really difficult Herculean task for University of Hawaii.
Bounce back and forth. Somewhat shows up on the defensive side fantastically right there. 60 seconds left in this one, but I mean, like you said, this is if this goes, this is exactly the way that Bowling Green A wants it to, and B is what they did at the end of Game 4 last time. They got up to a decent little lead. Oh, Sharketeer, one of the first offensive opportunities in a while, and Sadaki bites this one all day long. Fantastic stuff. This one comes off of the back of Sharketeer. I mean, I think that was an honest goal, a shot attempt, but it's going to be Sharketeer on the backside all day long. All of this setup, and literally, kind of like earlier, right? Every member of this Hawaii team got a hand onto that one.
They looked good. There was a really good pass across from somewhat a really awkward shot from Sharketeer. Difficult to deal with. It dragged all the players out of position. And now we're in a situation where it was almost tied up this game. I actually have no clue who it's going to go to.
Yeah, we know who's in front right now. And looks like that one's going to get extended. Kringler's backside. So he picks this one up barely inside half court. Oh, and someone just comes tumbling through the air. Can't quite connect onto this one. Can't quite block it away. I half called earlier at 33 seconds. I'm not going to call this one quite yet. Someone almost comes off the goal attempt right here. Gonna happen, though. That's an open net, I think. Yeah, that's an open net. Oh, no. Okay, so Kringlers misses it. Kind of just assuming this one was going in, and then Mutation comes off the back. Yeah, that's reasonable to think that one was going in. but
Yeah, it
mutation
was awkward.
there to cover up the teammate. Three scores, 22 seconds.
Yeah, I think we can sort of write this one off. I mean, Hawaii, they're not the most aggressive team. They haven't been scoring too many chances. Bowling Green, much better today than they were last week. I was worried about them last week. They looked pretty poor, but today they were good defensively, and I thought they improved offensively as well. So it was well done to Bowling Green. Hawaii, I think they could play a little bit better than this. I feel like they were a bit passive at points this game, and I think they could have took the game to Bowling Green a little bit more, considering Hawaii were 6-3 going into this, only 6-4. They had a better record than Bowling Green.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every score difference here has happened, right? Bowling Green wins by 2 to start this off. University of Hawaii wins by 1. University of Hawaii wins by 2. Bowling Green State University wins by 3. And then the same thing happens game 5 with Bowling Green State University going on down and kind of chewing the clock a little bit, but still getting there and then taking extra goals once they kind of get to that advantageous offensive position. When they're up, there's only a little bit of time left and they're able kind of play that ping pong and just waste time at that point. At that point, just playing against the clock. So
Series, good series. Game 5 went
yeah.
down to the absolute wire. I did kind of expect a little bit more out of kind of both teams, but nervous times, right? There's a lot on the line at this point in the season, and I think it showed both teams. And Bowling Green for them, I hope they draw a lot of confidence from this.
Mhm.
Especially as I said, poor start to the split, but hopefully they feel a little bit better now. In Hawaii, 6-4, at least they've got a good record to try and get them through to the end of the season.
But we'll definitely see how that one goes. Coming in to the what last game. Yeah, come last game looking at that is am I looking at this right? UTA in Sacramento?
We've also got Weber and Wichita just before that.
Gotcha, gotcha. Weber State University, Wichita State University coming into this one. UTA and Sacramento after that. We'll be back after a short break. Guys, bring you the rest of that Rocket League action in just a little bit.
The episode